Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426 and today we have something gigantic to review. This is the Dino Commander from the latest series of Miniforce. Now once again, I'm not sure if the Miniforce latest series is actually being aired in other countries at the moment, but yeah, in Korea we call this 최강공룡 미니특공대, which means like ultimate dinosaur or ultimate dino Miniforce or something like that. Now once again, I'm not sure if it's being aired in other countries, but yeah. So it's the latest version of that, and this is a trailer unit that usually has shown up as a support unit or like a, just a typical vehicle to carry on the other units. But now, at a certain point, this thing can now transform into a really nice looking mech, and Korea has just released this as a toy. It took pre-orders about a few weeks ago, and now it's released, and this thing is gigantic. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen the pictures I posted so far, but not only the robot mode is gigantic, this thing in general is just huge. Even the box is way more bigger than Rex Kaiser as well. Now, just to give you guys a general size scale, is that since I don't really review stuff as big as this, here is a typical Hot Wheels car. You can see the size, and here is a typical 1:144 scale HG kit. You can see not only the trailer is gigantic, but everything in general is just big. So in this review is going to be pretty long because there is just a lot to explain. It's just not, oh, here's a vehicle, it transforms into a robot. It's like that. No. The trailer also has a huge aspect going on here. There are certain aspects that also works like a play feature as well. So in this review we're going to go over, number one, we'll go over the trailer, and then we'll go over to the vehicle form of Dino Commander, and then we'll transform it into robot mode, and then we'll do the articulation and the typical stuff we do in this channel. So once again, so in the box, once you get, it's a gigantic box. In the box you'll have the truck and the trailer separate. Oops, sorry about that. The trailer will be separate as well. There's not any loose pieces going on here. Everything should be attached to the truck, other than like these weapon parts for the robot example. And then here we have the metal that we've seen so far. Now the background story of this guy is, so far all the dinosaur robots or units that we've seen are all sentient beings. They're not like made in a factory or anything. They were actually all alive in a different planet. This one is like from the Miniforce headquarters. They basically, I'm not sure if the term reverse engineering is the correct term, but basically they used the power of the dino metals and then now implicated that power into their own vehicle to see how it goes, and then and hence they were able to make Dino Commander. Also, the pilot who uses this is none other than Ray, the black Miniforce unit, who works as like a special ops character. Now I'm not sure if his animal form or his non-transformation form has ever been shown properly, but yeah, he is technically my favorite character in there because he's not like he doesn't show up like as often. If there's like a 30 episode going on, maybe he shows up in like 5 episodes. Yeah, so he's always like on a secret mission going on here, always saving the other teams when they're in real danger. Alright, so once again, so this review is going to be long. So first of all, as I mentioned before, before we go on to the reviews, here are the basic components. So you get the metal, you get the truck front, and the trailer part as well. Everything that is technically included in this thing is all included inside the trailer or on here as well. So once again, as I mentioned before, I'll be right back with setting up the trailer, and we'll go on there. Okay, I'm back. So just wanted to give you guys another scale in terms of size. So here is Rex Kaiser inside the trailer. This is what usually this trailer is used for. So Rex Kaiser can actually go in with no problem as well. And there's still even a little bit of space on the front part. So you can definitely tell this trailer is gigantic. I think even Optimus Prime's trailer can't say anything to this size of a trailer as well. Alright, so before we go on to the review or start the review, I just wanted to show you guys Rex Kaiser in terms of scale going on here. So let me just, I'm just going to take this part out just for convenience, and I'm just going to put this part up front and take him out. So yeah, so just wanted to show you guys that aspect that Rex Kaiser can, if you already have Rex Kaiser for some reason, you can comfortably put him into the trailer as well. Alright, so now because this is a trailer but also has multiple play features, let's go over for the basics. So this is a weapon part for the Dino Commander, and it can be stored here on either side like this with using 2 pegs. But once again, on the trailer itself, this thing has no purpose. So I'm going to put that away. So let's see on the basic features. Now, any trailer, usually if you have a toy, the problem is if you take off the truck, it's always going to be like falling down forward. So that is a issue. But for the play feature, what you can do is you can get these wheels and then flip it onto the other side so you have better balance. So you don't need to be always constantly being aware or worried about falling up forward. Alright, let me just lower this slightly. Alright, so now this thing has some play features going on here, and it has a extra part. If you've seen Gundam Holics review, even I wasn't aware about this, but has a certain extra bonus part, something to do with this guy. So yeah, we'll get into that later. Alright, so in the series now, it's always been a regular truck, but when now it actually got its robot form. When it first appeared with that aspect going on here, Rex Kaiser and the team was already being beaten up by another evil, powerful guy, basically, and this guy shows up and and fires weapons to the enemy. So he would use these blasters on the side, which is on each side. So you have each side's weapons. You can open this section up to reveal missiles. I think this was pretty eminent on that aspect. And I would like to also mention, everything you see here, there is no stickers. Everything is either part separated or painted on here. So you don't need to worry about opening the box and then applying all sorts of stickers. There's no such thing. No stickers on this thing. Alright, so what you can do is that you can flip this open up to make it look like it's, it's more battle ready, or like if you want to have like that battleship-esque design thing going on here. Same goes for this one as well. Although with both of them, I don't think there's not much space for this, but you can still reveal the missiles. So on the other side, that's also possible, and because it is a trailer, it also has the basic features of a trailer. Oops, yeah, so something like that. You open this section up, and then, yeah, if you have anything that has wheels or anything that needs a ramp, you have a ramp. So my guess is that maybe these guys on the back, they can like zoom down like that. That is my guess, because yeah, these things seem a little bit too big, if you ask me. Now we have the basics of that. Now what we can also do is we can split this apart. So in order to split it apart, there's a few things that you need to do. So you have these things, which are technically claw arms on one side. So you have to take this one part out. Now one claw arm will already be attached. So let me just adjust the camera again. So one of these claw arms will be already attached. This other one was detached inside the box. So you do need to reattach it. It's no big deal. Although it does require a little bit of strength, so be aware. So you have these claw arms going on here. There is no articulation on this side here, so but they're not on these midsections, but there is a rotation joint here. Same goes for the other side. They're the same parts, and then there is a extra end movement tip here that you can move up and down a little bit, and the claws do actually function as well. So just wanted to point that out. So once you have those disconnected or detached, what you can do is now split this thing. You can split open. Oh my god, okay, this part, and there you go. Reveals more stuff to do here. So once again, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's start with the more, nothing too special thing going on here. So in here reveals these slots here. What these are meant for is for your dino metals. So now I'm not sure if it's just mine, but it doesn't really have the best connection. But once again, you can connect them in here like that. I'm just gonna put them in random. I already have two metals. And then if you have more units that has the metals, then you can also just slot them in here with no problem. Now it does require a slight push so that it actually kind of clicks into place, so that when you put down like that, then it doesn't fall down. So yeah, it's a pretty small, it's a neat feature, something that I was not expecting, but yeah, it's just for a little extra convenience. I think that was a pretty fun or good idea. Now, on the promo pictures or images, what they do is that they tell you that you can store in all of your 9 other dinoid units. For example, now I would say store is a little bit a wrong term, but basically what they usually show is like the previous series, which was based on Polices and Justice. They would have like these guys, 9 of them here. So like one here, one here, one here on each side, and then what they would do is basically actually give me a moment. What they would do is basically just put them here in 3 rows, 3 by 3, and they call it like storage. Now I feel like that's a little bit stretched, but once again, if you have all 9 of them, yeah, you can do that. But once again, because of how huge and large this thing is, I don't think it's really an ideal situation. Alright, so, and then make sure to also flip open these upwards so that you, at least the top one, so if you want to have a more proper balance thing going on here. Now, let me just actually open this section up because I don't have much space. I just wanted to show maybe one side here. What you can also do here is pull this section up and you have more space. But on each side, there's actually a compartment that's hidden. So let's actually this one is better for me to show this part. So you reveal this, when you pull this out like that, it reveals this thing. This thing is the pile bunker or driver part of Burning Cera's horn. When you combine these two weapons, it becomes a longer, like a piston form. But once again, I guess the designers thought these weapons were too small for Rex Kaiser or in the combined form, so they added a upgrade part so that it looks much bigger. So we're going to be testing that out with Dino Commander. Yes, Dino Commander can also combine with this guy, although I don't think in the animation that happened unless I skipped a certain episode. So yeah, we'll get into that later. So on one side, there was a hidden compartment here, and you might be wondering what's on the other side here. The other side is a little bit more on the play feature. You can pull this section out, and let's see, come on. You can get the Dino Command car, or Dino Machine car, sorry, and you can store it here. And then if you want to store everything including Rex Kaiser stuff, you put the Rex Kaiser in its Dino form, put the car in here, and you're good to go. But also just a fun play feature. You have a ramp here, and there's a small lever here. You pull it all the way up, it lifts up the backside of the car, and the car slides out. So a little bit more also a play feature. So I guess in terms of like Transformers, this would be like one of those, you know, base feature as well to have a little bit more fun going on here. Alright, and I think that's pretty much it for the trailer. There's not much else to talk about other than the weapons. Once again, just to give you guys another idea on the size of the trailer, I think you can just practically fit almost the entire truck into the trailer. Almost. So yeah, that is gigantic. Alright, so I think we're done with this. It's a pretty fun trailer, and there's no stickers. Everything is either painted or color separated, and I think these nice blue clear plastic is a nice touch in terms of the trailer. Alright, so once again, I'll be right back with the truck itself, and we'll go on there. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the truck of Dino Commander. Now, I would like to mention, when you transform into the robot mode, the trailer does not actually become the robot. It's only the front truck part. So I just wanted to point that out. But granted, there is another toy, not from Miniforce, but for the next season of Metal Carbot, which is going to be called Metal Carbot W. There is going to be a truck mech that was shown in the previous series, but also it's coming back upgraded, and that one has an interesting gimmick where it can only transform with the trailer. So yeah, but anyway, so back to this guy. So here is the truck, and here is the metal. Now I would like to mention, like previously, the metal does not actually play a key role in the transformation or in play value. It's just there because of the show. Although I'm not sure if we actually seen this metal properly, other than being there on the back or on the background basically. But yeah, this thing does not actually open up any like gimmick like a Cyber Planet key, but for Rex Kaiser it does serve a purpose where in terms of a locking mechanism. But once again, it's not really a mechanism. It's just like there to ensure a certain connection. But yeah, you can still manage without it. But anyway, so yeah, here's the metal. It's still the pretty heavy metal going on here. Alright, so if I didn't mention it previously on the trailer, but all those wheels that you saw previously, they all roll individually. So yeah, pretty cool design, and I don't think these are going to be being scratched or erased any soon. Anything you see here on colors or design, they're all already painted on or already pre-done, so you don't need to apply any stickers here as well. So yeah, this is also a very long truck going on here, but it does roll pretty well if you ask me, although it's just my desk material that's not allowing it to roll. But yeah, the wheels all roll. You can see these horns. So as far as I can tell, even Gundam Holic mentioned this, it's mostly based on a Triceratops-esque design or theme. You can see the 3 horns going on here, and I think it's a really excellent design way on how they store or hide all the weapons, other than this long rod here. So yeah, so this horn part is actually connected to the inside here with another rod here, which later can combine with that longer rod to become a rifle or a spear. And here, these extra horns or ear-looking things are actually blasters. They're actually like pistol-like weapons here. Okay, so there we go. So you reveal it like this, and you can see the handle, and these are now guns. So pretty convincing, although I think this part may be a little bit big than you think, but you get the idea. Alright, so just looking at, let me just take this part off since we already took it off, and yeah. Some parts can be very stiff, some parts can be a little bit, sticky, so just be aware. When I mean sticky, not like sticky as in like it's been coated with sugar, it's just that some parts will be connected very, very tight. So, although I don't think that it's going to be breaking that easily because the plastic is very durable as well. So here's the part that connects with the trailer. On the trailer part, if you look at the pictures that I posted on Facebook, there should be another a huge chunk of plastic slot that goes in here, which also can rotate. Hence, because of that, the trailer doesn't always need to be facing straight directly. When you're turning, the trailer will follow in terms of the turning process. So it doesn't need to be a straight brick. So I'm really glad they did that as well. And then you can see a reveal of the head, the back side of the head, which we will see later. And you can see this part becomes the shoulder, and the front part actually becomes the feet, or this part is generally the feet area. So if I had to explain generally. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the truck. I'll be right back with its transformed version. Now, as much as I would like to show you guys the transformation, I'm no Jobby the Hong, I'm not Gundam hauling, I'm not really good at showing that process, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the transformed version of Dino Commander. This thing has some presence. It's big and chunky is what I can say. Compared to Rex Kaiser, he's definitely on the chunkier side, but of course, I think that's just the overall toy limit aspect going on here, because in the show, he didn't look that chunky, but once again, it's just the limitations of certain aspects, and then the way it depends on how you look at it, on which angle going on here. So once again, this thing is massive. Just to give you guys another idea, for those who still haven't figured out how big this thing is, okay, actually give me a moment. Here is a part that just fell off. Here is next to a typical 1:144 scale HG Gunpla kit. You can see it's big, and not only that, keep in mind, Rex Kaiser itself was pretty big, but here is next to, now let's get this guy out of the picture, and now here is Rex Kaiser. You can definitely tell they're roughly, when you put by head, they're roughly on the similar size going on here, and similar height. But you can see the mass bulk. I think Dino Commander takes the cake when it comes to more mass and bulk going on here. But once again, because of that aspect, Rex Kaiser definitely has the more sleek and slimmer profile, if you ask me. Hence, this guy is still on my top list, or maybe for this year, this guy might be the best toy of the year, if you ask me, in terms of the robot category. Alright, so I just wanted to point that out. So yeah. So let me just put this guy away, and let's look at the articulation. So just to show you guys articulation, I'm just gonna take out the weapons because I'm gonna show them anyway. So just a real quick brief going on here. So one, the pistols are actually stored in here on the back side of the leg, to be more specific. So I'm just gonna take these part out, and then his weapons, which can be his main weapon, which can be separated in two ways. Here we have the long rod that was on the trailer, and then the other side, once again, here is the front part, or another blade type weapon going on here. They were all stored into these side skirts using these holes going on here. So that's the way how it works. So that means every weapon that this guy uses can be stored onto unit itself. Alright, so let's start from the top to bottom in terms of articulation going on here. Once again, no stickers. Everything is either all painted or pre-painted or already applied as well. So one thing, although I do think there's no stickers applied, most of these are painted as far as I can tell. So let's see what we got in terms of the head. So once again, the head, I think they did a really good job. The fact that I think this one, well, of course, Rex Kaiser had still the face mask going on here, but I think they did a pretty good job balancing the overall. This thing is actually a artificial one made, so it doesn't look alive. So yeah, pretty cool design. And the head, once again, it's on a stiff ball joint, but once again, it's possible to move, so it can go down that much and up that much, which isn't a much, but once again, rotation should be possible in terms of 360. And there's a lot of spiky horns going on here because of the whole Triceratops concept. I'm not sure why they went for a Triceratops concept, because there's already a character that's based on that, but who knows. And once again, you can see there are some extra missile launchers onto the sides, onto the shoulder area here. Now this part is the part where I'm slightly confused on, or not confused, but was this really necessary part going on here? So this is the back of the truck, the white trailer area here, and they basically make you slap these gigantic slabs on here, and then they give you actually specific instructions were pull this up 3 clicks, because these are all on ratchet joints. So let me just give you guys an idea. Okay, just please come off. So you can see they tell you to do, in this form, they tell you to go 2 clicks, 1, 2, like that, to do that, and then connect it here. So yeah, although these are very bulky, I would have preferred not to have them. But then again, if you take these parts off, you're also taking these parts off, which is quite of a bummer. But once again, in the show it doesn't look that bad, but as toy form, depending on your taste or style, this may look a little bit too bulky or big. So once again, at least you still have the joints going on here, so you do have a little bit of control where to position them. So I think it's really up to your preference going on here, so just do as you will. But once again, here, if you follow the instruction manuals, it should look like this from the behind, and then also the middle is there. But yeah, and because of that aspect, it may feel a little bit back heavy. You can tell it's trying to lean backwards on the top body, so yeah, do as you will. Alright, now in the chest, it's going to be opened up like this. Usually you would think like the final process would be opening it up, but no, in this case you're closing it up like that. So yeah, to keep the whole horn concept, if you ask me. Alright, so now looking at the arm, very similar style-ish going on here with the other dinoids going. And then I do like the fact that when it's in truck mode, the arms are actually folded up like that. So you have to pull it out for the full articulation going on here. So in terms of articulation wise, we have a nice ratchet joint going on here, 360. And going to the side, 90 degrees as possible. And then we do have a bend, but because of the arm lengths, it's not a full 90 degree bend, but almost a 90 degree bend going on here. So yeah, and then I believe, yes, you have rotation here, 360, and then the hand, unlike Rex Kaiser, which I believe each finger, or at least some fingers, were able to move individually, open and close individually. This one follows the 4 fingers move together concept going on here, and we have a gigantic peg inside the hand, which is for the weapons. Now the waist joint is, now technically there is a waist swivel, but you can see it's not moving like that. The reason is because of the metal. So in order to do that, move the waist, you need to pull this one downwards, and then now you have nice beautiful ratchet jointed rotation there. So yeah, the metal does maybe block into place, but once again, I think it was to more secure a more better position. So do as you will. But since it's there, and when you need to pose, all you need to do is lower that, so no big deal. We have front skirts, similar to Rex Kaiser style, where you can just flip them open and close them up, and you can now reveal the size going on here, which, you know, still has a good old basic going to the side. 90 degree, not possible because there's a lot of blocking the way, but once again, very tough ratchet joints and loud. And then you have a nice side swivel, which also has ratchet joints. Very well done. And then going forward 90 degrees is possible, and then backwards also is possible going on here. And then we do have a nice bend, but not fully 90 degrees, just because everything's just so thick on the leg. So there's going to be a little bit of limitation going on here. And make sure when you're transforming this guy, make sure the knee's going to be like this. Make sure you pull or push up the knees to get a more natural look. Now, compared to Rex Kaiser, the only thing that's lacking is the ankle joints. But luckily, the feet are already in a tilted angle here. You can see it's not straight, it's a tilted angle. So getting a natural pose is possible. But once again, depending on what pose you're doing, the feet may look very awkward because of the angle going on here. Okay, let me just readjust this guy. Yeah, so yeah, overall in terms of style and design, I really like the design overlook, although I think the legs may seem a little bit too fat, but once again, they did their best, because in the process they actually make you clamp the legs forward, so to make it a more, you know, as slim as possible. So this is as far as you can go. And yeah, but on the back side there's also this part where you can rotate, so you do have maybe a little bit of an extra leverage in terms of doing certain poses. So if you have to go more in an angle and the front can't handle it, you can maybe rotate this to get a more balanced, you know, structure going on here. Alright, so we've seen the basics of Dino Commander. Now in the show, he doesn't really get a fancy transformation sequence scene, unlike Rex Kaiser. But one thing, because it's always like in a very dire moment, so he just transforms like immediately, very fast, from truck to mech mode. So, and this guy doesn't have a voice or doesn't talk at all, because usually in Miniforce, when the robots transform and finish their transformation into robot form, they usually call out their names. I don't think this guy does that. Alright, so now we'll go into the weapons section here right away. So the weapons here, these two are can be separate weapons, and then they can combine one into a large weapon. So the small one, we'll get into this one right away. So the small one, which believe it or not, this was the horn of the truck, and you fold it up like this, and now this becomes an axe weapon. Yes, you heard me, this becomes an axe. A little bit, in honesty, this is maybe a little bit far-fetched from being an axe, but I checked the manual as many times as possible, and yes, this is called the Commander Axe. Yes, this is the Commander Axe, and then here you can reveal this part, and now this becomes the Commander Rifle. But once again, you can combine these two to so you can combine these two in terms. I'm just checking the correct terms. You can combine these two to form the Commander Spear, which is my preferred weapon, and I think it's the weapon that Dino Commander uses the most as well. So once again, let's see how they connect. Alright, so in this form, obviously the only part to connect is, my guess, is through that peg on the hand. And now keep in mind, the thumb does not move, so you're gonna have to like wiggle your way through in terms of movement. And there you go, you have a firm. Now it's not a perfect fit in terms of the hole. It's more, the hole is slightly larger than the peg, but yeah, you can hold it with no problem. And then in terms of the rifle, because it's just a gun, so let's just do this the simple way. Alright, so you just, now the peg is actually a perfect fit on the holder, and there you go, you have the rifle. Now in the show, I remember this being much more longer, but once again, I think this is just a limitation in terms of the toy. But overall, I think they did a pretty good job, and I think there is, yes, there is a actual rotation on the hands as well, which I believe was not possible for Rex Kaiser because of the design going on here. Let me just do a quick check. Yep, he does not have a rotating hand, so yeah. Now the rifle in this pose may look very goofy and silly, but what my preferred weapon, like I mentioned before, is the Commander Spear. Now I'm really glad on two aspects. Number one, in all the promo pictures, they always showed him holding the spear using this, and I was a little bit angry about this. When it comes to mechs, is that why is it always robot toys with spears? Why can't they just hold it regularly on their own rod instead of having this separate gun handle thing here? But luckily, yes, until Gundam Holic reviewed this, I wasn't aware that you could. So yeah, I'm just gonna slap it on here, which is, of course, connecting here is much more trickier because of the thumb blocking the way, so you really need to like wiggle your way through, and once you have it, you can close it in and lock it into place. Granted, because of the rod like girth on it, the hand will not wrap 100% perfectly, but it will wrap a certain amount to the point where it locks it into place, or almost locks it into place. So yeah, there we go, and that is amazing if you ask me. Granted, being a spear, you would think it'd be much more longer, but once again, it's just Dino Commander being a little bit on the tall and large side, and there you go. All right, so and then with this, there is like various poses you can do here as well, but which we will get into later. But for now, yeah. And then for the guns, it's pretty obvious where you need to plug in this. So once again, I'll be right back with a few poses, and then we'll look at the combined form with the other Dino unit. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the first demonstration with the pistols going on here. So the pistols can actually connect to the hand with no problem. And once again, my favorite pose is doing the dual wield pose, firing in all sorts of directions by each side. So once again, it works pretty well. The only gripe is that now the balance is pretty okay considering how the feet design is, and looks pretty well balanced, and it doesn't look as awkward as I imagined. So yeah, working pretty well. Of course, make sure when you're moving the legs, make sure the joints are actually moving correctly, because these black joints will kind of like move all over the place if you're not careful. So once again, holding all the weapons, or at least the guns, will be no problem. I'll be right back. So after this, we'll look at the spear as well, because once again, I'm not a big fan of the axe, and I already showed you guys how it can hold the axe, but it's just really a dinky-esque weapon. So once again, after this, I'll look at the spear. Once again, I'm really glad that this works pretty well, and yeah. Alright, I'll be right back with the spear. Okay, I'm back with the spear. So once again, the spear can be held in two ways. One is using the separate handle, or two, you can just hold it on the middle of the rod. Now, you would think because this is a spear weapon, he would be usually using it to like poke or stab. But no, in the series, he would just run around with this and just usually slash his enemies with it, or sometimes he's gonna whack the enemies with it. He does have like a finisher where he like charges up his spear and then just makes a huge energy blade and then slashes through the enemy. So yeah, despite how he looks, he actually like runs and moves a lot in the series. So he's not just a heavy tanker that just barely moves. He does move really a lot and fast. Yeah, and I think it works pretty well despite all the whole chunk in the design going on here. Now once again, the spear, this can be just separated separately, and then the spear and the rifle is pretty much what you think. It's just a rifle, so you can do whatever pose you can do that as long as you can do it. Of course, I'm not sure if he can do all the poses that he was shown in the series, because he does use very specific posing as well. So anyway, so we're done with this part. Now I want to show you guys what you can do with the other dinoid units. So I did technically prepare this guy separately, so let's see how we can combine with this guy with this. Now the overall the way how you do it is pretty much the same, but there are some other preparations that you need to do, so I'll be right back with that as well. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the preparation done. So what happens is that number one, the white parts on the back now goes onto the feet, making him even taller. I'm not sure why this wasn't necessary, but once again, it does make it much taller, and once again, it does also solve the overall back heavy issue going on here. And number two, like Rex Kaiser, you can fold either one arm or both arms to the back if you want to connect another one to the other side as well. And then I also prepared this guy. But at the same time, if you remember, on the trailer they gave you this, an extension or slash upgrade part for this pile driver here. So once again, the only thing left to do is once you're done setting up this guy, the only thing that you need to do is, I already flipped up slightly, but it's going to be looking like this. You flip this all the way outwards and reveals another joint, which you can basically connect it like that. Now if you have other units, and then if you also have Storm Terra, then fold both arms to the back, and then you can connect the wings and then connect the other arm unit as well. I do not have Storm Terra, so I am not able to really demonstrate that. And also, every time all the promo pictures only show that they connecting both arms, I wanted to show that also just connecting one arm on one side is also possible. So this also does kind of answers my question as well. So once again, having the arm on, it looks pretty good in terms of proportions. The size of the arm itself is okay, but once again, it does overall lack the impact in terms of the weapon, which is why they gave you this. So all you need to do is just slide it in, and there you go. You have a much more longer and larger pile driver, or like a pile bunker, whatever you call it these days, to penetrate your enemies. And that is pretty much it. So once again, I think they did a really good job on Dino Commander. Really cool concept, big size. I think kids, and not only kids but adults, are going to enjoy this as well. Now keep in mind, this is a toy meant for kids, so which is why you can see there's like certain articulation lacking, or certain parts are just designed like that, because once the item becomes a toy category, there are a lot of stuff that you need to follow and keep in terms of regulations and laws going on here, because in Korea is one of the most strictest countries out there when it comes to toy laws. So that is why. And considering that, the design team of the company, or who, if the person who designed it is who I think it is, they did an excellent job going on here. Now in terms of Miniforce, there's only one more mech to come out, which is the Dino Emperor. I am very interested in that, although in terms of the animation there is a little bit slight issue with him, but overall, if he does come out and if he's on the okay price, I think I'll get that as well. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the Dino Commander. So once again, Rex Kaiser is not included in this set. Just wanted to point that out because I did keep bringing out Rex Kaiser as an example, but no, he is not included. What you get is the trailer, Dino Commander, and that's it. Anything else you see, like this guy, Burning Kara, you need to buy him separately. Anyway, if you guys, hope you enjoyed the review. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.